What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with another Destiny 2 video, and we're going to preview the update and changes, as well as content refresh coming up for this week's reset in Destiny 2 on the 13th of January. So initially, we do get the first game update of the year this week, which Bungie have literally confirmed in the last couple of days, so we'll speak about what we know there. Otherwise, we'll talk about upcoming events. Players are curious about when we'll get things like Arms Week, which is scheduled for January, as well as Iron Banner. So we'll touch on that, but also the content refresh and featured rewards for this week. As always, if you guys enjoy the video or find it useful, a rating would very much help us out on the channel. But now let's get into it. And so initially, as has become pretty normal with these almost weekly updates that we tend to get the bulk of the time, with the exception of the holiday downtime we've just had, we are getting another update this week, and this is update 9505. We don't know all of the changes just yet, but keep in mind initially, there will be a little bit of downtime on the Tuesday ahead of this. So from 5 AM Pacific, background maintenance will begin, and then D2 will come offline at 7:35 AM Pacific, and ultimately be brought back online at 9 AM Pacific. In terms of the changes, well, we can probably expect to see a few in there, but Bungie did say, after identifying an issue where special ammo boxes on Anomaly were not spawning as intended, they did actually change the map to Burnout. But additionally, they said, we'd like to note that a fix for lobby balancing in Trials is currently scheduled for January 13th in update 9505. So we should get that on Tuesday, which will mean Trials is back to non-lobby balanced lobbies, I guess, next weekend. A heads up, they also changed the weapon over the last weekend, so that's still active at the moment, and it's now Astral Horizon as opposed to the Martlet. But in relation to this update, of course, there are other issues in the game at the moment, missing weekly shipments, Vanguard alert challenges not refreshing properly, quite a handful of things, so I'll keep you posted with patch notes when we get to them on Tuesday. In terms of the event setup, players were wondering when we were going to get the return of Arms Week. Bungie had said that it will be in January. It's possible that it could be this week, but I would imagine it's probably going to be in a subsequent week, as Bungie haven't officially announced it yet, so I wouldn't hold your breath for it to pop up this week, although if it does, I guess that will be a pleasant surprise. But of course, on the Renegade side, we do get the refresh for Equilibrium this week, which basically only affects the drop for heirlooms, so if you're still hunting for that one, good luck. Otherwise, you can farm tier 5 gear pretty effectively on the first encounter, and of course every 3 unique encounters has a chance to drop the Taken Crystal. Next up though, if you spend January thinking about your habits, going to the gym, eating better, or maybe you find yourself also saying this is the year you're gonna quit, well, one of the big reasons that resolutions can be hard to stick with is that there is no replacement, but today's sponsor may have the answer. Fume is a flavored air device aimed at helping you move away from smoking or vaping. Importantly, it has no addictive chemicals, it doesn't make clouds, it's not electronic. Instead, it simply pulls air through a core, creating a mild flavor while being sleek and discreet. And a key thing about habits is that you always want to reach for them again, and that's why Fume can make the journey easier as it fills the void. It's something to fidget with, and when those cravings return, you won't be alone. Fume cores come in loads of great flavors, like these. Personally, I like crisp mint because it's fresh and it reminds me why I don't want my old habits back, but my favorite thing about Fume overall is that it alleviates some of the pressure of changing your habits, and now's a great time to try it out, because to kick off New Year, Fume are giving us double cores on every order, so if you buy 1 pack, you'll get 2, if you buy 3, you'll get 6. So why wait? Head to tryfume.com/houndish via the link below, or scan the QR code on screen today, and you'll get double cores as well as a free Fume topper. So if you want to get off to the right start, check the details below, and thanks to Fume for sponsoring the video. Separately, if you've earned any weekly shipments from completing contracts, they of course will show up opposite the spider at weekly reset, so keep that in mind. And we should get the refresh for the weekly quest, which is Territorial Prophet. That one will drop shiny versions of the Renegades weapon with the additional origin trait. They come pre-masterworked. And if you're wondering how to complete those relatively effectively, the best way is to basically farm the 3 contracts here in the middle, just the standard ones, as a lot of the time you can actually complete 2 or 3 of them in one run of the Lawless Frontier. And completing these 3 back-to-back will also give you chances at the exotic contract for the Cyan Crystal, so it's a pretty efficient way to play if you are still on the grind for loot and rewards. In the portal, of course, we'll get new Vanguard alerts. I'll keep you posted on Tuesday as to what they are specifically. Bungie had said there's also an issue where some of the challenges don't necessarily refresh correctly on some of these nodes, so hopefully that will be fixed in the update this week, and of course we'll also get a new Grandmaster variant for the Vanguard alert, so I'll keep you posted with those on Tuesday. Another thing for Lawless Frontier, but there are the kind of weekly missions that we can run as well as the challenges which are available for the Fire and Ice exotic mission. These refresh each week, and it's an additional source for power if you are still leveling up, so just an extra thing to keep in mind. Separate to the Renegade stuff though, of course, there is also the refresh for Edge of Fate if you happen to still be working on any of that stuff. So we get a new weekly featured mission, which does have the challenge that can drop tier 5 gear below 500 power, so that might be useful. But if not, you can farm tier 5s from the Sieve if you're high enough power, or indeed from the Loot Cave on Kepler, so worth looking up if you are missing any of the Kepler rewards. And that leaves us with the World tab, the kind of traditional, old-school Destiny stuff, where of course any of the raids and dungeons featured on old destinations are completely farmable now in terms of their exotic drops. So if you're still after things from older raids, you can now basically farm them infinitely for chances to get the rewards. Then in relation to the Eververse store, we seem to be rotating between the N7 Mass Effect theme sets and the Taken armor, which did start selling before we got to the Dawning, so hopefully we'll see that rotation continue, but again I'll keep you posted with that on Tuesday. And the final mention for the World tab is for the Ascendant Challenge this week, where the rotation actually resets back to Aura Borea, which can be found via Aphelion's Rest. So if you need to complete those, or you want to run them, I'll run a clip at the end of the video showing the location. But otherwise, much like you guys, I'm hoping that we'll get some updates from Bungie this week regarding the kind of event roadmap, additional changes and things that they have coming up in the future. Whether we'll get conversation about the bigger Destiny 2 roadmap, we'll just have to wait and see, but I'd anticipate it may be a little while longer yet. But share your thoughts down below as always. If you found the video useful, a rating would very much help us out on the channel as well. Let us know if you're still working on any things this week in the game down in the comment section. And once again, shout out to our sponsor today, Fume. If you're looking to change your habits for the new year, it's well worth a look in their store. But otherwise, I appreciate you watching and I hope you guys have an awesome day.